Oh, we're going to build the wall. Don't worry about it. We're building the wall. We're building the wall. In fact, it's going to start soon. Way ahead of schedule. These are bad dudes. We're getting the bad ones out. We get the drugs. They get the money. We get the problems. They get the cash. No good. No good.
President Trump electrifying the crowd this morning, sparking roaring applause from that CPAC audience. But just up the coast, our nation's largest police department, right here in New York, well, they have what you would call an alternative agenda. New York City's police commissioner reportedly telling officers that they will not help the feds enforce civil immigration warrants unless there is a risk to public safety. Here to discuss Elvira Salazar, Josh Blackman, and Gina Loudon. Gina, you were at CPAC. You felt it. You saw it. The crowd went crazy over the wall and enforcing the laws on the books. What's wrong with that?
I have no idea what is wrong with that, and it makes me wonder, like, what other laws is the job now of the people that we trust to be our public servants? Is their job now to pick and choose which things they want to enforce? That are when people are breaking the law, Charles, it has to be that they do their jobs. That's all the Trump administration is asking people: do your jobs.
Elvira, it's. I think one thing people don't talk about is the communities that the quote-unquote bad hombres live in. It's the illegal immigrants who waited their turn to get here who are most likely to be victimized by this. So when Mayor de Blasio says, you know, don't enforce the law, or the governor of Connecticut says don't enforce these laws, who are they putting? I feel like they're putting these communities at risk more than anyone else.
Well, because I think that, well, good to be here with you. I think what the mayor of New York is doing, as well as the mayor of Miami-Dade County, what they're trying to do is they're trying to protect the good hombres, not the bad ones.
But if you keep the bad hombres in the neighborhood, how are you helping the good hombres?
Well, because the bad hombres, they know who they are and where they are. And the moment that they are arrested, the feds will know about it. And mayor of Miami-Dade County and the mayor of New York City will turn them over to the feds. That's not the problem.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Absolutely. And that is the way it's going to work in Miami-Dade County, and I'm sure it's going to work here. But the problem is that every time that President Trump talks about the bad hombres, he's putting everybody in the same bag. And we're talking about 55 million Hispanics. And out of them, what, 11 million illegals that they're not supposed to be here. I know that. But they are here because they're doing something, jobs that probably other Americans don't want to do.
Although some people say that a lot of them are here who are taking from the public trough, whether it's welfare, their kids are going to school, they're, you know, there's an economic debate over whether or not those 11 million have a net positive economic impact to this country. Some people believe they don't. But be that as it may, I want to ask Josh about this from a legal point of view. It's sort of mind-boggling, Josh, that a state, that is a mayor or a governor would defy the President of the United States on something that is over his control. This is a federal issue. How dare they say we're not going to enforce the laws of the nation?
Well, actually, it's a principle of the Constitution on this federalism that the federal government can't tell the states what to do. To give you an example, in the 1990s, the Clinton administration tried to force states and local sheriffs to perform background checks for guns. And the sheriff said, absolutely not, we're not going to do this. And in a 5-4 decision from the Supreme Court, Justice Scalia said that state officials can't be commandeered or forced to enforce federal policies. Now, this may yield a result that conservatives don't like, but the broader principle of federalism is very important, that the feds can't tell the states what to do. And that's actually something where the feds can come in and enforce laws themselves if they so choose.
Well, but Gina, having said that, if you have someone who's committed a crime, like the killer of Kate Steinle, who's being released over and over again, given a red carpet, given benefits, being embraced by a city, that's completely different, I think, than the Clinton example. Although they're close, it's completely different because we're talking about a threat, a physical threat to a community.
Right, and you make that point right there, Charles. And I have to differ with your last guest who said, you know, that the feds don't have authority. You know what? The police department, they don't work for them. They work for we, the citizens, Charles. And if they're not willing to do their job and keep us safe and enforce the laws that are already on the books, then I have a big problem with that as a citizen. And I think that you know, I think that all all arms of the law should come down on
Right.
them if they're going to refuse to protect their citizens, especially from a criminal like the one that killed Kate Steinle and so many in my own neighborhood who've
Right.
been victimized by that. I live, as you know, in a largely
I still hear
immigrant
that it's party time down here, Gina, so we're going to let you go. You can party, drinking margaritas, and we'll just try to enjoy the 67-degree weather in New York. Thank you all very much.